you're all here to see the play. Isn't that clever? Woo! This is so great. All right. I do, when you're 90, you can do anything, so I'm going to do a little stand-up, sitting down. A little stand-up before the play. Okay. Wow. This is amazing. Okay, so this is what a happy 90-year-old writer, husband, father, grandfather, and teacher looks like. That's about the cheapest applause I've ever gotten. Do I hear anybody? Do I hear an "Oh my God, he doesn't look older than 85"? Do I hear a 75? We're gonna go for it. Hey, look who's here! I'm seeing people I haven't seen. This is so wonderful, my God! And you come from different places. This is just so wonderful, and from all different times and places of my life. This is oh hey. Annie Dillon, a writer, says, how we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. And I found out from a friend recently that a person who has lived till 90 has lived 32,873 days. It actually feels longer than that. Most of those days, I figured it out. I've done the math. That's why I brought my show and tell with me. I've done the math. I have been writing it depends on where you start. So let's start here. You could say that if you measure how long you've been writing by that first time somebody paid you for something you wrote, then I've been writing for 74 years. It's gonna get better. 74. Because at 16, I was at the High School of Performing Arts in my second year, and they said anybody who has an A in English can take a playwriting class. So instead of English class, I took a playwriting class. And the teacher, Jack Weiser, one of 3 mentors, teachers who will change my life, change the path of my life. At 16, Jack Weiser throws us right in. None of us have ever written plays before, 16 years old. And he said, write a play for Arbor Day, 1-act play. Arbor Day? I mean, can you think of anything more uninspiring than Arbor Day? So I don't know, everybody, I'm a city kid, so I know I'm not gonna, I don't know from trees. So, I don't do trees. And so what am I gonna, and I make it up. And what I make up is an old man who lives in a suburban house in Long Island. I think I've been to Long Island twice. And he's living with his son and his daughter-in-law and his granddaughter. And the daughter-in-law is evil. She wants to get rid of the father because she wants to build a new wing on the house, but he has a garden out there, all in 1 act, and it ends with the old man going off to the old person's home, and we hear the tree in the background off stage getting the father's tree because he's got a garden back there. The name of the play is The Garden, and we hear the tree being cut down. Okay, so I am told that I am a young Chekhov. I do not know who Chekhov is. I have never seen The Cherry Orchard or heard of it, which is exactly how The Cherry Orchard ends. And then on top of that, Jack Weiser, who sees a gift that I didn't know I had, we sit in his convertible car on Riverside Drive after school every day, and I rewrite and I rewrite and I rewrite and I rewrite the play. And one day, I come in, and he says, congratulations, you have been published by Samuel French, and here's $50. 17, just to prove it isn't a fluke, I get a second one published by Samuel Friends, and I get 75 bucks. So it is goodbye, Gene Kelly. Good morning, Eugene O'Neill. That's where it begins, but it doesn't begin. This is where show and tell comes in, because then I'm 1943. Hello, anybody out there? I live in Washington Heights, where within us, this is I consider one of the blessings of my life, where within a 6-block radius I have 6 movie theaters. If you go east toward the Bronx, I've got 5 going that way, and if I go south, I go to the Lowe's 175th, one of the great movie palaces. And so I've got 6, and I go to all of them. And I would say I live there more than I do at home. And actually I live there completely, because when I go home, what I do, and I have it to show you. I run home from the movies at the age of 9, and I know it's 9 because here are the best Pomerantz pictures of 1943. Now I'll explain what that means. This is 4x5 pad paper. This is the original paper. This paper is as old as I am. All right? Okay. So what I did, I would be so excited by what I saw in the movies that I would run home, and I would go into my room, and with a pencil, I would write my movie. But the way I begin it is I would cast it. And in those days, they were double features. So the movie ads, the pages, there were just lots of movies. And I would count down actors' names, Dana Andrews, Ida Lupino, George Coulouris, I knew the name of every character actor in the business. So I had a huge supporting ensemble cast as well. And then I would go, okay, now I gotta make up a story for Dana Andrews, Ida Lupino, and George Coulouris. And I'd make up a story for them. But remember, it's on 4x5 paper. So this is the way it looks. I would, here's, the titles are wonderful. Let's say I've got Greer Garson and Alan Ladd, Edward Arnold and Phyllis Thacker in the book binder. I've got the man who forgot to kill himself. I've got the man who died to save his life. I've got Strange Music with Loretta Young. I've got Secret Rapture with Ronald Colman. But I don't stop there, because I know this is 20th Century Fox movies, so that means it plays the Roxy. And if it's the Roxy, I gotta book the stage show. So I bring Carmen Miranda in from Hollywood, and that's on the back. On the front is the movie, on the back is my stage show. And so I've got Carmen Miranda, I got her in for the Roxy, and I've got Jackie Miles as a comedian, and Paul Winchell and Jerry Mahoney of the ventriloquist act, and I've got Kay Kaiser in this band. So I've got them booked. I give more people work. I give more people work in these 7 years, from 1943 to 1950. I then, in those days, the Daily News gave out stars, but I was very discriminating. I didn't give every movie 4 stars. As you can see, there's 4 stars. I would give some 2.5. I would give some 3. Anyhow, and then at the end of the year, I would do the 10 best pictures of, and this is 10 best pictures of 1943, and then I've got 1944, 45. You get the idea. Okay. Now, wait a minute. So if I start at 9, I figured out that's 81 years that I've been writing, because that's when I put pencil to paper. Yeah, that counts, not just when you get paid. It starts earlier than that. It comes to 84 years, because that I'm writing. because there are writers in this room, and there are artists and very creative people. So you know, it doesn't just mean when you call yourself a writer, you're sitting there. You're waiting for the elevator, you're waiting for the bus, you're waiting for the light to change, you're online at the supermarket, you're constantly writing or rewriting in your head. And it's not just the days of your life, it's the nights of your life. The nights are the best part, because you go to bed thinking, I nailed it, great. And it's in the middle of the night you wake up and go, oh no, it's all, oh God, no, it's all wrong. Or it's early in the morning that you went to bed at night and you couldn't solve the goddamn thing, you were there all day, and then you wake up in the morning and you got it. So you go to sleep, but it doesn't. So you are writing in your sleep. And you are, so that's what I mean, the days and nights. And that takes me back to 1940. I can actually locate the moment, which means I'm 6, which means I'm doing this for 84 years. At 6, I see a movie which I'm sure all of you know, it's iconic, called Lillian Hellman's The Little Foxes. And I know it's 1940 because I've looked it up. That's when it gets distributed. And it comes to the great scene where Betty Davis, sitting on the sofa, tells her husband he's got to sign the papers that in order for her to have this equal money and power as her greedy, evil brothers. And he says, I'm not signing. I can't stand what these people stand for. And she's so pissed at him, she says, I hate your guts, and I have hated every moment that you have ever touched. And she's doing this, Betty Davis, on the sofa, and every moment you've ever touched me. And we know that he has a heart condition. And of course, the more vicious she gets on the edge of that sofa, telling him what she thinks of him, he suddenly goes, one of the great moments. And he says, my medicine. And she fucking sits there. She just sits there and lets him die. It's dynamite. It's just dynamite. It is nothing, no moment like it. And it's dragged out because he suddenly realizes she's not going to help him. And he starts to crawl all the way on the floor to the staircase and up the stairs. I mean, and she doesn't blink. Betty doesn't blink. Oh, it's great. And that's the moment I become a writer. That is the moment I become a writer. Because I don't know that the person who thinks this shit up is called a writer. I don't know this. I just know this is where I want to live for the rest of my life. This is where the truth is. This is where danger is. This is where I fucking want to live for the rest of my life. And I have. Wow. That's what I do. This is important for me to tell you because it is just so important. Because the writer, Paul Harding is his name. I read an interview. I haven't read his books, but he said something that just blew me away. He said when he became a writer, this is the life I want for my mind. And I thought, oh, I didn't know I had made that choice. I would never have put it that way. But that's watching Betty let him die. That's the moment I said, this is the life I want for my mind. And now I just go into my quotes, because everybody has said it so much better or has completely nailed it. D.H. Lawrence, thinking. I love thinking. The welling up of the unknown into consciousness, the whole human being wholly attending. Oh, yeah. Been there, done that, still doing it. Okay, John D. MacDonald, a writer of the great Travis McGee books, a series of crime novels. I'm in it for the hunt. For those very few, clear, clean moments of savage satisfaction akin to joy. Yeah, been there, done that, still doing it. There's a third one I want. Oh, Matthew Ritchie, painter. I love it. I do this for the fun I have thinking. Great. And the best one of all, William Carlos Williams. We're lucky when we catch, and this is where I start to cry. Trying not to. We're lucky when we catch the evasive life of the thing. When a phrase breaks through the stereotype into a moment of insight, and we tap into that underground current that sends up its pure water. Well, yeah, been there, done that, still doing it. So today, I give you Don't I Know You From Somewhere, my new play. It's Don't I Know You From Somewhere 3 lifetimes in 1 act. And I have been blessed with this beautiful cast, new young people who just walked into my living room and blown away. I think we're ready to begin. No, there's one other thing. Yes, 2 other things. The play is bare stage, pretty much the way you're seeing it right now. That's the play. However, it has rear projection. So when you hear a character say waves like mountains, you'll see the waves. When a character tells you she's now a street singer, below the subway, you'll see the subway come in. When a character talks about a scene he's watching in a movie, you'll see the scene. So you got to do a little work. You got to imagine that this is what's going on. There's a visual reinforcement. But on the other hand, I'm kind of glad we're doing it this way today, because it's going to have to be the words and the actors and the storytelling that's going to deliver the play to you. This is not we don't do reading where you just sit and turn the pages. This is as fully staged as we could possibly make it with the books in our hands. And guess what? We're going to begin. The only other thing to tell you is that this play is dedicated to everyone I love.